Welcome to the EXP Group, one of the leading providers of business training solutions. Please enjoy this presentation and visit us on the web at www.theexpgroup.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to the EXP Group's ACCA Paper P3 Business Analysis Learning videos. Okay, we are now on Chapter 8. We're now on Chapter 8 and we're going to be looking at this concept of quality. As a quick reminder, if any of you have just joined us, our express notes can be downloaded free of charge from our website at www.theexpgroup.com. Okay, so it's a new chapter. Chapter 8, Quality. We've got our usual word cloud at the start of the chapter, and as you would expect, the word quality is quite dominant in this. We also have things such as TQM, Six Sigma. So we're going to be looking through all of these as we go through this. First of all though, let's have a quick look at the big picture. Let's start. Introduction. Quality by itself is very difficult to define, as one person's measure of quality doesn't necessarily agree with itself. So what this is saying, it's difficult to define. Each individual has their own particular view on what is a quality product. So it's very difficult to define, as it's rather subjective in nature. So that's the first thing to be aware of. Quality is difficult to accurately define. However, Duran, one of the management theorists, came up with probably what is the best known definition, and that is quality is fitness for use. Okay, let's go and start looking at various different approaches to quality. So, quality approaches on page 38 of the Express Notes. So we've got two main areas here we're going to be talking about. We've got the traditional approach and something called Total Quality Management, TQM. Now, the traditional approach is really based around checking outputs. So, a traditional approach, for example, if you had a car manufacturing business that goes through a process along the conveyor belt, the traditional approach would be based on control, quality control inspections, which would then check the quality of the product before it was released to the public. That's the traditional one. Total Quality Management, TQM, which I'll come back to in a moment and talk a bit about it, but TQM is all about a change in the business mentality, the change in the whole process, moving away from thinking that quality is dependent on being checked at the end of the process, but rather saying that quality is totally important at all areas within the business. So, going through the notes here, we can see under quality to control. Quality control is a traditional approach to quality and involves checking output to previously determined acceptance rate. That's the traditional one. TQM, Total Quality Management, is a complete business philosophy that encourages employees and management at every stage of the production process to focus on quality. So it is just a mindset of making sure that people are involved in quality at all stages. Total Quality Management introduces a number of concepts. The TQM introduces us to an internal customer. If you imagine under the traditional approach, quality, the focus on checking quality was at the end of the process before it went to the customer. Under TQM, it introduces us to internal customer. So if an individual is working in that company, he finishes his process and hands that over to another member of the same company, then that's his customer. It is not an external customer, but it is an internal customer. So TQM focuses on total quality management. Okay, if we skip down to page 39, at the top of page 39, will introduce you to a number or to two management theorists who are very well known on the quality side of things. First one, Deming, Edward Deming, then Joseph Juran. You've already heard of Juran as we mentioned him in terms of the definition. Okay, a bit of background about Deming. Now, Deming is really considered to be almost the father, the inspirator of modern quality. He's revered in Japan. He's an American who headed over to Japan after the Second World War and has been credited with almost single-handedly turning around the Japanese economy by introducing this whole concept of quality. Now, Deming is the name of the person behind TQM. He was a guy who was a sort of brainchild behind this total quality management. Okay, so Deming, considered by many to be the father of the modern quality movement. He strongly influenced Japanese industry in the aftermath of World War II, utilizing statistical process control and TQM, total quality management. Okay, a similar theorist to Deming is Joseph Juran. And again, he had a strong influence on the various Japanese approaches. And his main area was he developed an approach to management that is composed of three managerial processes. And here they are. We have quality planning, quality control, quality improvement. So quality would be ensured by having a sufficient planning process in place. You then have to make sure that as we're going along we do have the control element, and also finally at all times we should be focusing on what we can do to improve. So Joseph Juran, quality planning, quality control, quality improvement. Okay, thank you very much for listening to today's EXP video. Please come back again tomorrow and we will be talking about the V life cycle model. Thank you very much for listening.